Hey guys, welcome to our channel. We are the Cinema Drinking Buddies. On this channel, we watch movies and we drink. And in this video, we are going to go over the newly released Bill and Ted Face the Music. And I must say, this movie was much excellent and bodacious as well. But anyway, I'm Matt and he's Gio. Gio, what'd you think of the movie?
Oh, I thought it was bodacious. Absolutely.
Oh,
I enjoy this one. It's definitely up to par with the other ones.
hmm
Um, and being a trilogy, I know sometimes trilogies like the third movie can like fall apart or just like not be as good, especially for how many years has passed
yeah.
when the other ones were doing. So yes, I this one held up very well. The actor, the characters that were in the movie were they either resembled the characters from the past or they brought a good light to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I liked it too. I like you said, I thought it held up with the other two. Um, I like the fact that they kind of I like and I don't like the fact that they kept Bill and Ted's characters basically the same as from the previous movies because I liked it because you had that consistency. They're still the same. They haven't changed. They're still like, dude, whoa, But like they're like adults now. They're almost 50 years old, and
Hmm.
that's how teenagers, I'm not gonna say that's how teenagers talk, but that's how you're more likely to hear a teenager talk that way than an adult. So seeing a teenager talk that like that in the Excellent Adventure and the Bogus Journey, okay, yeah, I can see that. But as adults still, I mean, I don't think it could be any other way, but still it's just kind of
Yeah.
weird to hear it like that.
Well, in the movie, they kind of they basically were these big shots that kind of later on slowly faded away
hmm
with different things happening where they just weren't as good anymore and people just didn't like them. So they actually never really grew up. They just stayed in that music and that
Yeah.
in that not time frame, but that just that
That
character, I
state of
guess.
mind. Yeah.
That state of mind, yeah. And so that's the reason why. So that's why they kind of like during the movie, and it does show that when um, Ted's character was like, you know what, I think we're done. I think this is it.
hmm
And so and then that's when the next series of events starts happening, and they go on that adventure because of those words. It seems that way.
hmm
And I think they just never grew up, and that's why their characters were the same as 25 years because everyone basically let them know. Their dad let them know
hmm
constantly. Yeah.
Yeah. Ted's dad, still the same actor and everything.
Hmm.
But yeah, he basically said, you guys never went on an adventure through time. You never went to hell. You never time traveled, any of that stuff. You never did any of that. So
Yeah.
he was very skeptical of them. He wanted them to get real jobs. Um, basically, he just he was just kind of disappointed in them. And
Hmm.
it's interesting how they introduced the dad there at the wedding because the first time we see them, they're playing at a wedding at Ted's younger brother Deacon. You remember him from the first movie? He's the one who ditched
Yeah.
Napoleon. They're playing at his wedding, and guess who he's marrying?
He is marrying Missy.
Yeah. So I wondered who
Just
she was gonna marry in this movie.
yeah. And it turns out to be Ted's younger brother.
Yeah.
So yep, Ted is now a ex boyfriend, uncle, son. Yeah,
Yeah.
just a whole different slew of things.
Yeah. Like Ted was talking about how like now that Missy was married to Bill's dad and then Ted's dad, now she's married to Ted's brother, like how like everyone is now related to each other and how like
Yeah.
Deacon is also his own father or something like that. Like it was just I couldn't keep up with it. It was so weird, but
Yeah.
I was like I know she's going to marry someone in this movie. I think I had even said it in one of our like trailer reactions or maybe in our video where we reviewed the Bogus Journey. I'll put a link down in the description of that video. But I was wondering, like, she's going to be married to someone else in this one. I half expected
Mhm.
it to be Death.
Just a quick rundown of the movie.
hmm
Spoilers. of course.
Yeah, we've
Um,
already talked about some spoilers.
yeah. Um, they basically go on a mission due to uh, their music is supposed to be saving the whole entire, not the world, but just reality itself.
Mhm.
Without this one song, they're gonna basically reality just cease to exist. So they have to go and make this song that they had no idea what it is or how to make it. So they decide to do a plan of, hey, we're gonna go to the future when they already did the song and just steal the song, but it's not really stealing because they're stealing it from themselves.
It's a good plan.
So they go, and each time they go through uh, further and further, and each time they tell them like, don't do it, because it's only going to make it worse. They end up making it worse
Yeah.
by going and seeing their um, drunken self, and then they see their British self, which is actually their drunken self in a house of what was the artist's name?
Dave Grohl, he's the
Dave
singer
Grohl.
slash drummer or singer for the Foo
Yeah,
Fighters.
and so they go to his house, and then they go further ahead, and they end up finding the their prison cells, which
Hmm.
they become very buff dudes, and
Yeah.
then they go further, and then they find out that they actually have that music, and so they go there. But while this is all happening, you have their daughters who's trying to help them, and they're going back in time to pick up these great musicians
Hmm.
to help to make the best song they can possibly make. So during that time, they pick up Mozart, they pick up, um, and
Uh,
we just talked about this,
yeah. Jimi Hendrix,
Jimi Hendrix
Louis
and
Armstrong,
Louis Armstrong,
Ling Lun
uh, Ling Lun.
from ancient China, and Grom from ancient Africa.
And you said that you researched on Ling Lun.
I did. So Ling Lun, when I researched Ling Lun, the first thing that comes up says Ling Lun is a legendary founder of music in ancient China. He was said to have created bamboo flutes, which made the sounds of many birds, including the mythical phoenix. In this way, he invented the five notes of the ancient Chinese five-tone scale, which is equivalent to do, re, mi, so, la. So yeah, Ling Lun is a real person from history, referred to as a he, but in this movie, it was shown to be a woman. And then I also looked up Grom, the drummer, and like when I saw that, I was like, "There's no way that we have like historical records of a ancient African drummer from 12,000 years ago." So I looked up Grom, and Grom, there's actually a drummer who goes by the name of Grom in a metal band called Hortus Anime. I've never heard of this band, and I know metal pretty good, but I've not heard of this band, and I'm wondering if Grom, if this drummer might just be like a favorite drummer of like one of the directors or writers or something,
Mm-hmm.
and this was kind of their way of working them into the movie without people wondering like, why are they getting this drummer from this obscure band that no one's heard of?
And then they end up all coming together.
Hmm.
They end up finding the music, being able to create that music,
Yeah,
and basically the end. I enjoyed the ending a lot. The
I did
way that
too.
they set that up. So it's basically not just Bill and Ted is saving it, and it wasn't their. It kind of like tiered to their daughters, saying,
Hmm.
"Oh, it's you." It's actually not just them. It's actually everyone.
Yeah.
So all the musicians that they got, the daughter, the Bill and Ted, even past historians that because the whole
Hmm.
reality thing, people are time warping different locations and things in that part. Um, and so they all were playing.
Hmm.
And so they all played this grand music, and that basically saved the whole reality.
Yeah.
So it's basically like music is joining everybody to save the world time. So
Yeah.
I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, I really like that, and I really like that song and that whole concept of music just bringing everyone
Yeah,
together because it
absolutely,
does. It brings
absolutely.
people together. Um,
And it wasn't just like an instant, oh, this is what we're playing and this is how it is. They actually were messing up and they just
yeah,
didn't know how to start off, and they're just all over the place, and somehow um,
they kind of
they were
found
all
their
able
rhythm.
to, yeah,
Yeah,
and then they all started playing it. So, yep, that was
yeah,
really good.
I liked it. So in this movie, in the previous movies, their mentor was Rufus. played
Yes.
by George Carlin. In this movie, obviously George Carlin passed away. So in this movie, we have Kelly, played by Kristen Shaw, who is also Mel from Flight of the Conchords, and her character is Rufus's daughter, and her mother,
Mhm.
who is like the great leader, is the one who is kind of she is of the belief that Bill and Ted's death is what will save reality. Whereas Kelly is of the
Yep.
belief that no, Bill and Ted don't need to die. They just need to make this song. So, in that regard, you almost have the Excellent Adventure and the Bogus Journey coming together, because the
Hmm.
Excellent Adventure was Rufus trying to help them go through and collect all these people from history to basically, keep them together.
Hmm.
And the Bogus Journey was Denomalos trying to kill them because he didn't like the reality that had been created because of what they had done.
Yeah.
So we kind of had that come together. It was different reasons, but almost the same, kind of the same thing. I thought it was kind of neat how they brought those two plot devices, or I don't know, plot devices, but plot points from the previous two movies together.
Yeah. So in the previous one, they had a robot version of Bill and Ted.
Mm-hmm.
This one, they just have basically just a robot to go ahead and sent out
Yeah.
to kill Bill and Ted. And this robot kind of finds himself in the middle of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was just weird. And then, uh, so he's like basically can't kill them now. And even though Bill and Ted wants them to kill him during this plot point here,
Yeah.
and they couldn't do it. So the robot goes into this meltdown and ends up
Mm-hmm.
wanting to kill himself. And yeah,
Yeah. Well,
and then
he starts to feel bad because he was sent there to
yeah,
kill Bill and Ted. And the first time he tries to get them, he misses and ends up hitting Ted's dad and the SWAT
yeah,
van. And then the second time, he just kind of fires haphazardly and hits Kelly and the daughters and all the musicians. So like he's
yeah,
hit all these people and sent them to hell before he was even able to get to Bill and Ted. And by the time he finds Bill and Ted, and they finally gotten the song from their like way old selves. At this
yeah.
point, he's feeling bad about it.
Oh yeah, and the way he like basically tells him, and he's like, yeah, I sent your daughters to hell.
Yeah,
Oh no, I killed your daughters, and like, where would they go? To hell.
yeah,
It's like, it's like, oh, he becomes happy when actually when they all went to hell to go rescue his daughters, but
hmm
and all the other people, and he basically like says, "Hey, my name is Dennis Caleb McCoy." They're like, "Oh, okay, great."
I love the fact
he
that the
just,
robot's just named Dennis.
and he goes and he meets the daughters and crew, and he basically just says, "My name is Dennis," and they're like, "Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah."
keeps introducing
So,
himself.
yeah, by his full name, not like my name is Dennis. Like my name is Dennis Caleb McCoy.
Yeah, and then once they
Mm.
get to hell, they find Death from the Bogus
Yep.
Journey, and like I was so happy that Death was in this movie, but at the same time, I was sad that his role wasn't bigger, because I he was one of my favorite characters from really from the first two movies.
Mm.
Well, he wasn't in the first one, but he was
Well,
my favorite character other
in
than
the
Bill and
second one.
Ted. Yeah. So I was hoping we would have got to see more of him, but no, he was really just there kind of at the end.
You may be wondering why they weren't together. Well, Bill and Ted ends up suing Death,
Hmm
and Bill and Ted says it's because he was trying to steal the music, and Death is saying no, it's because of my 40-minute solo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
40-minute bass solos, which
Well, it's 40
were
minute
the
bass solo.
highlight of their shows.
Yeah. And them kicking out was a reason why they failed
Yeah,
as a group. But then his daughters talked Death into helping him again, and they did. So they escaped hell, and then that's when they found out where they need to be
hmm
to create that last minute survival song. And
yep,
all this time they had 72 minutes, right? Not even
yeah.
hours, 72
Like the
minutes.
movie was
It
almost
was
happening in real time.
yeah,
And like at some point, like Kid Cudi just kind of showed up with them,
yep,
and toward the end, when like they're getting ready to play the show there on the highway, Kid Cudi just looks at them and goes, "Station," and they just like reply back to him, "Station," and that makes me wonder, like, what is his connection to Station? Because he was really smart in this movie. Kid Cudi, he was like a
Yeah.
physicist. He was himself, like he played himself, but he had all this knowledge of physics. So it makes
Yeah,
me
and
wonder.
they were the ones that like asking him like, okay, what next? What next?
Yeah,
And so he's basically giving him a breakdown of everything. So
yeah. So it makes me wonder, like, what his connection to Station is. Like this, like, had he met Station at some point, and Station gave him all this knowledge, or
mhm.
is he Station, or was Station like possessing him somehow? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
he didn't build anything. He just knew about everything, a lot of it.
Yeah, but
So
Station was smart too.
yeah.
Remember they were saying that they needed like the smartest being, ever,
Oh yeah,
and
and they showed them too.
yeah, and it was Station. So
Yep.
I don't know. I want to know more about what his connection is with Station.
The wives are in this movie, of
Oh yeah,
course, and they're
much younger than.
yeah, they had they're younger, but they also have like a very, very small role. It was their role wasn't big at all. Just I think the main point was when they went to that therapist, the couple therapy.
Hmm.
And I thought that was pretty funny scene where
Yeah,
they kept saying we,
we love
but
you.
like it's like I, I and Ted love you.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's good. And then the therapist was just like, what?
And then at the end of the movie, they're finally able to say "I love you" as opposed to "We
Yeah,
love you." So I thought that was it was kind of nice. Final thing I want to talk about is just every movie nowadays has one. This movie's no exception. The end credit scene with the
the
old
end
Bill and the old
credits.
Ted.
Yeah,
Basically, hey Ted, are you dead? No. Are you? No. And then, of course, they proceed to rock out.
yeah. They basically go, okay, you know what? We got to do this one more thing. So they get
Hmm.
out of bed. They're all weak, walking slow. They plug in their amp, and then they just start rocking hard on it.
Hmm.
And then after they done playing their music, they sit down. They're like, oh, I got to take a break. They're
Nurse.
like, nurse. And then that's it. And it cuts right there.
That's it.
All right. Well, that is mine and Matt's review on Bill and Ted's Face to Music. I surely recommend you going and seeing it. Um, and also, I'm pretty sure Matt
Yeah,
recommends it as well.
I do.
And and so yeah, if you saw it already, comment down below. Let us know what you thought of the movie, anything that we missed that you wanted to bring up, any quotes from the movie. And please like, subscribe, share, and we'll go ahead and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.